Aurelia Monene, and I'm from Ada Africa, and it's an organization where we are committed to working with researchers, to growing together, especially as African researchers, to grow our research skills. Our ultimate goal is to ensure that we are researchers who are competent, confident, and critical in terms of how we approach things and interact with knowledge. So I welcome you today to the webinar. And today we have a great opportunity to start off the year with thinking about our goals, because I think even if you look at your lives, nothing that you have achieved is not without you having thought about it first. Some things come to us in life without planning, but many are the things that we plan for, and we are having this opportunity to think about our goals, more so goes around our research journey. I know most of us are in different spaces. There are those who are just starting out, like myself. I'm just starting out my master's thesis. I'm doing a second master's in healthcare management, MBA, and I'm starting off my research journey on that. There are those who are in the middle. They're collecting data. There are those who are about to publish. There are those who are trying to make sense of their findings now. And whatever point we are in our journey, it's an opportunity for us to set goals around that. Because one thing you will notice, research is just a part of our lives. Being a researcher or being a student is just a small part of your life. You have many other parts, and sometimes if we do not plan around it, time may go and then we might get very overwhelmed. So today we have the pleasure of having Dr. Lydiah Wambui, who will help us unpack a lot about goal setting. And before that, I would like us to introduce ourselves on chat, and then we will just have a brief session just to mention about the activities we are doing in the club, in the organization, so that you know what's in there for you. So that you know what's available from the club this year. And then now we will have Dr. Lydiah take us through the session. So karibuni sana. So please put on chat your name, because we are recording and we will have this on YouTube. We don't want to mention people's names. So just put your name on chat, and also put what institution you're in and your research area, so that in case someone else is also in that area, you can get an accountability buddy or even someone you can exchange notes with. So I'll give you 2 minutes to introduce yourself on chat. Just put your name, your institution, and your research area. So karibu. So let's do that now, and then we can begin. I can only see one person introduce themselves on chat. Let's just introduce ourselves. I've seen people meet people whom they can collaborate with here. So 1 more minute, and it's voluntary as well. And we won't read out the names of who's in there. So just so that the people in the room can know who you are. Thank you, thank you. Keep doing that as we go on. So as I told you, today we are having an opportunity to unpack our goals. But before that, let me just mention a bit about Ada Africa and the work we are doing in the clubs and how you can tap into that. So Ada Africa is an organization, as I said, that has committed itself to really support early career researchers. And early career researchers typically, and not of course, not always, are described as people who are just beginning their research journey. They may not end up as researchers, but they are working on a research project. And we usually categorize them either from undergrad up to 8 years into their work. So someone who is in postdoc, PhD, master's, undergraduate, even after postdoc or even after PhD could be categorized as an early career researcher. So the reason we started Ada Africa, and I am the founder, was because I found that so many students want to do good research work, but they are not supported. If you look at our universities, sometimes even how we are taught research becomes very difficult for us to translate that into knowledge when we come to writing our paper. So I met many students who had stayed for 3-5 years without graduating, not because they do not know, just because they do not have guidance. And that's when we formed the organization to be able to bring together researchers so that we can grow together. And we said, look, research is, the way we are taught research is also in a very siloed way, that you are someone of applied science, you're someone of social science, you're in health science. And we said, why not harness the richness in multidisciplinary? So when we came together to bring researchers together, we did not say it's only about social sciences. We said you're all welcome, because the reality of life is, even in the field, even in our lives, we do not interact with life as social scientists. We interact with life holistically, and our lives are holistic. So in the clubs, so we formed what we call journal club. Some people confuse journal club to mean we have a journal that we are publishing. No, journal club, these are clubs that people form among researchers so that they can either read papers together and critique them and improve scientific knowledge. So that's where the word journal club comes from. But maybe in future, who knows, we may become a publishing house. So we formed these clubs, brought together researchers, students from different universities, because we said oftentimes we only interact with students from our own universities. Why not interact from someone from another university and learn from them? So here you will find we have members from public university, we have members from all different types of university. And we said, why only be restricted to Kenya? And that's why you see our members are also from different universities in Africa. And so what we did, we have 2 programs. One is Africana Journal Club, and we thought we want to call it Africana because the passion of Africa for us at Ada Africa is that Africa is, and this is a fact, Africa is one of the most researched continents in the world, if not the most researched continent. But the unfortunate thing is that research in Africa is not led by African researchers. So people set agenda about research in Africa. They set it wherever, maybe in the Western countries, and then they bring it to us. And most of the time you'll find African researchers are collecting data, but they're not influencing the agenda. They're not even interacting with the findings. Sometimes they even say analysis of the findings will be done on the other side. So we become almost objects of research and not active participants of our own stories. And one way we thought as Ada Africa we can change this is to ensure that we are continuously encouraging people to finish their research and become great researchers. Because I will tell you that if people come and tell your story, they will tell it in a way that favors them. But if we as African researchers, young people, take a stronghold and be in charge of telling our stories through research, through policy work, through interacting with data, it means that we will tell stories that matter to us and stories that make a difference in our lives. So you may not be doing your PhD or your master's right now so that you can be a researcher. But trust me, wherever you will go to work, whether you're a lecturer, whether you're a CEO, whether you're a health worker, whether you're a psychologist, you will be interacting with people, you will be interacting with knowledge, you will be interacting with information, and those skills that you learn as a researcher, the skills of reading, the skills of writing, the skills of critically analyzing something, the skills of interpretation. All those will really help you to be a better professional, and Africans will continue and telling our own stories. So that's why at Ada Africa, we are very keen to promote the African voice. I work as a researcher, I work as a consultant. So on top of doing the mentorship at Ada Africa, my everyday work is I work with either international organizations or government organizations, supporting them as a researcher in the area of gender equality and social inclusion, social policy, social protection. And in that space, I get to experience how we are positioned as African researchers. And we have to keep fighting to say that we want to be part to set the agenda of research. We even fight to say we have to write the report, because I'm sure some of you have even seen professors being told that in this research project, you're just going to collect data. And you're like, how can I just be collecting data? Why am I not analyzing the data? Why am I not interpreting the data? So right now, people are pushing back and saying, don't reduce us to only data collectors. So even in my work, that's how I push every day, because I want, as an African, to be in charge of the stories I'm producing every day. So that's what we want for you. And so in the Africana Journal Club, we have many activities. Most of you have met Dr. Wangare, who has been setting the pace. I know we are using WhatsApp, which can be very overwhelming. And if you know of another way that we can also interact, please feel free to tell us. But we mainly use WhatsApp because it is faster and we want to have a personal contact with people. So the activities we have, and these are the activities I want you to tap in because they are free and they're available for you. One is Shut Up and Write. Shut Up and Write, it's a national move, it's an international name, but we adopted it for ourselves because many people are not writing. They are not shutting up and writing their work. So one thing that you always do when you're doing your research project, you're writing, you're reading, you're thinking. Those are the three processes that you're constantly doing: writing, reading, thinking. That's what you keep doing. And we realize that many people are not setting out time to do that. And if you don't do that, you will never finish your paper. So that's why 3 times a week we have dedicated time for you to now just shut up and write. You can still do this yourself. I have my mentor who did this for her PhD, and in 4 years she was done. So Shut Up and Write is you dedicate 2 hours. And I would encourage everyone here, if you can make to dedicate just 2 hours every day, 5 days a week on your research, trust me, you will move. The problem we have, I included sometimes, is that you start your research, then after 2 weeks, then you leave it, you take a month, you take 2 weeks, you take 3 months, you've been given some work to do. By the time you come back, even you can attest to it, the work has changed, you have lost your flow of thought. But studies have shown that people who can consistently give 2 hours, not even 3, sometimes someone can even say, I'll sit the whole day and do my research. Sometimes you get so overwhelmed and tired. Just 2 hours every day for 5 days a week. Trust me, that paper will move. So that's why we have Shut Up and Write, and we always announce it and encourage people to have these quiet moments. Sometimes it could even be a project at work where you don't seem to be settling down to write. You can also use that time. The other activity that we want people to take advantage of is mock defense. Mock defense is now where we said that many people are going to their defense without having had an opportunity for peer review. So we tell members, come on board, let us listen to your research. And one thing my mentor told me, the more you talk about your research, the more clearer it gets. If you make your research the best kept secret, sometimes it becomes very confusing for you. But the more you keep talking about it, what are you studying? You talk about it. Ask your family members to even ask you, Ebu, ask me what is my research about. And the more you are explaining, the clearer it's getting in your mind. So I have seen us do mock defense before, but nowadays I don't see people taking advantage of this. And what we do, we usually ask members in the club, please, this person is going for their defense, and you don't even have to be going for your defense. It could be you've now finished your chapter 1, your proposal, and you're feeling, I think I need someone to listen to me and give me feedback. And we can always organize a panel who is in your area. What I have seen in the club, people are very generous. 2 or 3 people who can listen to you. And the best way to learn, I have learned in my short life, is feedback. It's very difficult to learn without feedback. And the mock defense is an opportunity for you to have feedback. So please take advantage of the mock defense so that people can give you feedback on your work. The other activity we have in the journal club is the critical reading of a text. Critical reading is very important because as a scholar, and all of us as scholars, whether you're doing your master's for promotion or you're doing your master's because you want to be in academia, all of us are scholars. We have to learn how to read. The way we read a newspaper, of which we should be reading critically anyway, is not the same way we approach academic work. And scholarly work demands us to question. As we read, we are questioning. As we read, we are critiquing. We are looking for, what assumptions is this person making? Why are they framing their arguments like this? But wait a minute. The other day, this was the argument. Why are they putting it like this? That's the mind of a scholar. Rather than being a sponge to absorb knowledge, scholars, we are sieves. We keep sieving. We keep sieving and analyzing what we are reading. So the reason we introduced that activity called critical reading of a text is to be able to support people to read critically, because the way you read influences how you write. And reading and writing is one side of the coin. And I think Professor Uma, who has been here before, has always said, reading is the other side of writing. So if you are not reading critically, even how you write, you will find that your work, you might get comments like, but you're making an assumption of this, but why are you saying this? So that's why we have that activity. Before, we saw people having a lot of interest, but then over time we've seen people are not so interested. I think the school I went, I schooled for my first master's at The Hague. It's called the International Institute of Social Studies. It's a great institute for social studies and development and very critical research. And the one course we had to take was reading and writing. So people learn these things. People don't just, you don't just become a critical reader. You keep sharpening and sharpening the skill. So we had to do that. And that really helped me read academic texts. So please take advantage. I think tomorrow we have one, but tomorrow we are just having a discussion. So take advantage of this, because these are the things that help you as a scholar to become better. Then the other activities are just run them through so that we can have Dr. Lydiah come on board. The other activity we have is webinars. And if you see, our webinars are run by members mostly. We don't look for Professor Who and Who. If Professor Who and Who wants to come, fine. But we also want to promote the voices of upcoming researchers. We want to say that everyone has something to say. So we encourage members, run a webinar. Some members have said, me, I have never even done a PowerPoint presentation. It is the first time I've done it in the club, and we are so happy. And these webinars, we support you. We ask you, these are some of the topics members are struggling with. Is there any you feel you can give? You say, yes, I can do this. Ama, you have a topic you feel, I think members would benefit from this. Then we tell you, prepare slides. Send the slides to us, Dr. Angari and I. We look at them, we give you feedback about the layout, about the content. and then we give you feedback. We do a poster for you, we share it out, and then you present, because we want you to be visible in your work. Remember, we always say that at least when people Google your name, because we also put it on YouTube, let them see more things you do rather than just maybe where you're employed, rather than your social media pages. Let people Google your name and see, oh, she even does webinars. She has something to say. He has something to say. So take advantage of the webinars. We support you through them. We record for you, and you can have that in your CV as someone who is contributing to knowledge. Finally, the other activities we have is we share opportunities for scholarship. Ada Africa, we started as a meeting physically, and that's why we grew very attached to each other. Now, when we moved online completely because of COVID, we don't meet a lot. But right now, we want to resume the physical meetings, and we will start, of course, with Nairobi. But we will hope that we can move to other counties, just meeting together as researchers, talking about your paper. We can even say today we are just all going to give ourselves 5 minutes. We all talk about our paper. And trust me, those small steps are the ones that sharpen us as researchers. And we also get to build networks. I can attest to you that some of the contracts I have gotten for consulting, I got them from members in the Journal Club. A good contact, because we have many people from different organizations. So this networking is also quite important, and that's what I wanted to mention about the clubs. Then we also have what we call the Research Mentorship Collective. These are now activities for members. So the Africana Journal Club is group. There we deal with the whole group. But then some people started saying, no, I want to have my own mentor, because my needs are unique. So we formed the Research Mentorship Program, the RMC Collective, where now you can meet a mentor. Last year, we finished training the mentors. So we have mentors who are ready, who can work with you. And for that program, we charge. We charge a bit of money because it's the mentor's time. Also, all these things we do, they take time to plan, and they cost money. So we thought that can help us also meet those costs. And we also say that if maybe a group of you, 10 of you feel, I think we are not understanding proposal writing. So you can come together and have a mentor, and then you pay something and have that session. So the RMC program is the paid program. There are some of you who've been saying, I want you to review my paper. So you have a 40-page paper, and you want someone to read for you. So we said, for this service, we've been doing it for free, but it's been very difficult to get someone to commit. So we said, maybe you can pay something small, so that at least the person reading your paper, for the time they use, they can have that done. So in the paid program, which is the Research Mentorship Collective, we do peer review, we do one-on-one mentoring, and then we also do the small group training. So those are the two programs we have. I just wanted to mention this so that this year you can really commit to tap into everything that is possible. Remember, all these activities we are doing are to help you in your research. Sometimes you're like, how will shut up and write related to my writing? But if you don't keep quiet and write, how will you move? How is critical review of a text related to my research? If you can't read a scholarly paper, how are you going to write? You see, so all of them are related to your research. It's only that we don't want to be like a school where we have classes. We want to use interesting activities to help you journey through your research. And as they say in Swahili, kwa hayo machache, with those few but long words, I wish to stop and just say thank you for being part of the journey. Is there any question? 2 minutes, then I leave the floor for Dr. Lydiah. Any question about the programs? Anything you also, ADA stands for, ADA is actually a full name. It's actually a bird. It's a duck, and it's a duck that nurtures eggs for a very long time. So I think that's what we are doing in our research. We are nurturing people for a long time. We're not just doing one training and say, now you know research. We are having activities and nurturing you. So that's why the name Ada was adopted. Is there any question? You can put it on chat. And so karibuni sana. And so now, okay, yes, Josephine.
Thank you, Aurelia, for the eloquent brief. I have two concerns. One, you have talked about the tomorrow's discussion. Are we allowed to join in? If you allow us, then if you give us the link, that will be fine. Number two, you talked about this RMC, that you review papers at a cost. How much does it cost to review a paper? Thank you. Those two concerns.
Thank you, Josephine. For tomorrow, absolutely, you're welcome for the session. We will share the link again. And then for the cost of the peer review, we are still thinking through that. We have a few initial costs. We want to run them through a few members, and we can run it even through you just to have an idea. Is this something that can, is this something that makes sense to charge someone who is in school? So let me say for that, we have a few ideas, but we want to run them through a few members just to have a sense of if this is a good cost. But for the others, we have a price to it, like the mentoring and all that. Yeah. So we will communicate the peer review. It's just that it takes a long time to do a peer review, and we thought we are not getting any volunteers anymore. So maybe it's good to have someone put something small and then something. Yeah. Okay, so if there is no other question, let me have the honor of introducing to you Dr. Lydiah, and let me read her profile as she puts up the slides. Dr. Lydiah, she's a dynamic, experienced learning and development practitioner with an established reputation for personal and organization assessment and development, curriculum development, implementation, design, and tailor-made learning interventions. She has a positive, enthusiastic outlook in life. She's an expert in lifelong growth. And some of her skills is good listening. These days we could do with more good listeners. So she's a great listener. She's a good collaborator. She's adaptable, great empathy and tenacity. She has grown through the ranks in her career, and she has served in senior management in hospital, in higher education and abroad. And she has supervised master's students. She has mentored doctoral students in Kenya and abroad as well. She has a Doctor of Commerce in Business Management. She's currently she's serving as a member of Political Parties Tribunal, Political Parties Dispute Tribunal of Kenya. She's a mediator of family and labor relations. Her knowledge and skills, abilities and competence include human resource management, capacity assessment, stakeholder engagement, policy development, employee coaching, mentoring, and problem solving. So Dr. Lydiah is also a mentor at Ada Africa, and she's also a mentor in another program that we won a grant, a seed grant, together with University of Kenyatta University and USIU Africa, and even there she is a mentor. So we are in good hands, and I welcome you, Dr.
Thank you. Thank you, Aurelia, and hi, everyone. Good evening, good day for those who are not in the evening. I don't think we have our friends from the West African region. Good evening. My name is Lydiah Wambui, as you have heard. And I want us to go through the goal setting, but before we go through it, I just want to explain the genesis of goal setting. In addition to all the things that have been mentioned that may not even be impacting you, I serve as a board member in several schools in my county. And one thing I realized is that one of the challenges we had for the schools is that parental involvement in the students' learning was almost minimal. And the reason that it was minimal is that there was no coherence between the purpose of children going to school and the parents paying school fees. And sometimes children will be sent home from school because the parent does not understand why it is that they have to pay money while the child can stay home and become labor. And so I thought if I started teaching them identity and purpose, and then goal setting for both parents and students. And it has brought in at least 2 schools, we have seen improvement within 1 year. Before that, goal setting was the order of the day in the corporate world. No organization at the beginning of the year, everybody is setting goals, and we want to set goals, and then we'll be monitoring and evaluating and ensuring that you meet your goals through the KPIs that we set. Again, individuals are very quick to set goals to achieve in organizational setting, but very few of us look at ourselves and say, okay, I need to grow as a person, and I can be a better employee if I am growing personally and I'm comfortable in who I'm growing to become. My personal philosophy in human beings as far as human resources is concerned is that I believe that every one of us has inherent value. And so I treat every human being I meet as such, as an individual who has inherent value. And maybe to just excite you or to just see what your view is, what do you think? If you could put it in the chat, and Aurelia, you will help me to read what people put in the chat because I can't see it now. What do you think when you meet a person for the very first time? 1 minute, if you could write, what do you think when you meet a person for the very first time? That person could be in the workplace, in the public transport, in the marketplace. What do you think? Any responses in the chat? I can't see any. What do you think, members, colleagues? What comes through your mind when you meet a person for the very first time? Okay, somebody thinks unique and created by God for a specific purpose. That's a good one. I am quick to judge them based on appearance. That's another way of looking at it. Yes. Can I have a third person? What comes through your mind when you meet a person for the very first time? One third person, and then we move on. Yeah, I want to talk to him or her to know a little bit about him or her. Thank you. So you can see how diverse our attitudes and our responses are when we meet a person for the very first time. This is my personal view that everybody has inherent value. And because they have inherent value, I don't judge them. I don't trash them. I actually treat them as people with inherent value. And I want to know what inherent value does this person have? Is that a person we can work together, or is that a person who is going their way? And another one says that they think, oh, introduce yourself. And so as we meet from today onwards, I hope that I can persuade you to look at human beings differently as people with inherent value and treat them that way so that even when they are introducing, if they goof, if they don't do it your way, you are able to accommodate and therefore interact with them much more productively. Okay, so can I have, I think this I will have, can I have 2 or 3 people answering? How do you describe success? What is success to you? When you look at a person, how do you know whether that person is successful? Or what makes you think that the person is successful? And the next one, or maybe we deal with that. How do you tell that a person is successful? On the chart again. Or how do you tell yourself when you're successful? What are the signs of success? Somebody? Success? If they achieve what they have set themselves to achieve. Somebody says that's a good one, that if an individual achieves what they have set for themselves to achieve. Success to me is being whole, spirit, soul, and body, with nothing missing, nothing broken. Success when I reach my goals. Okay. Now, success is also defined differently according to different individuals. When I have achieved a set of goal, but a couple of learning lessons gathered along the way. Oh, when I have achieved a set of, also a couple of learning, when I have grown personally and happy internally, then it can be a small milestone. And so again, success we see individually, we are describing it differently. What do successful people do and successful people? What do successful people do that unsuccessful people don't? They are always punctual. Successful people are always punctual and dependable. So if you always come late, you are undependable and you are unsuccessful. They mentor others. And if you don't mentor others, you are not successful. They are teachable and want to learn. They are teachable and open to learning. Successful people are always willing to learn. Thank you. They are fulfilled. Now, what about wholeness? How do you tell a person is whole? They are always learning, and a person who is whole, how do you tell a person is whole or broken? And yes, people can be broken. Whole people are self-aware. Somebody else? A whole, when they themselves are satisfied with their achievement. Thank you. Now, I want us to look at success. One blogger said, success is a progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. A worthy goal or ideal. We have all seen that we each describe what is worthy, what is good, and what is bad differently. And so when we are looking at a goal, we need to look at a goal that is worthy, that can be accepted within a community. And it is an ideal that it is not a personal ideal only, but it's an ideal that is shared ideal within the community. Okay, thank you. I'll have the slideshow on. Now, technology. Yeah. I may not be able to look. Okay. So my topic today is looking at goal setting for mental health and wholeness. I have seen people who do not have a limb, people who have suffered specific diseases in life, but they are productive members of society. but I yet have to see a person who doesn't have mental stability being a productive member of society. And so mental health is critical. And mental health can be described from a medical point of view, but also from a social point of view. Mental health from the World Health Organization is a state of well-being where individuals can cope with normal or with regular life stresses. Mental health is where individuals can be productively and fruitfully engaged and is able to contribute to community life at different levels. Mental health is therefore important for not only for the individual, but for wholeness, that the individual cannot be whole if they are not mentally healthy. And if one is not mentally healthy, then it affects how we think, how we feel, how we act, and it also determines life outcomes of life. So mental health is important at every stage of life. It is important in childhood, it is important in adolescence, it is important in adulthood, it is important even to the end of life. We need to be mentally healthy. And yes, mental unhealth does not have to be a person on medication. When you lose your temper, or when you lose your temper, you are not able to think clearly, and therefore you are not able to articulate, even at the corporate level, you're not able to articulate your ideas very clearly. And so being able to cope with life stresses is an important skill. Okay, some just to pass by, causes of mental health include the ones that are shown on the slide, and I know that we have qualified mental health practitioners on the webinar and even on the Aid Africa group, but it includes child abuse, trauma, social isolation and loneliness, experiencing discrimination, social disadvantage, and poverty or debt can actually affect one's mental health. Now, how does mental health relate to setting goals? We've just said if an individual isn't mentally unhealthy, they are not able to contribute effectively to the community activities or to the society. And so goal setting cannot happen effectively if one is not in a stable mental health state. A goal is something specific you want to achieve. A goal setting is important because it gives the ideal of the mind, it gives substance to the physical. It helps you identify some things you want to do within a given period of time. And goals can be short-term, long-term, fixed goals, flexible goals. And I stop here to ask, how many of us have had an opportunity to set personal goals? How many of us have had an opportunity to set, just say yes on the chat. Have you had an opportunity to set personal goals, not organizational goals? Yes, we have 2, 3. Okay, we have 3 so far. Then it means that the rest of us who have not said yes have not actually been able to set personal goals. We have 5 of us who have had an opportunity to set personal goals. That which you plan, you will achieve. But if you don't plan, then you will end up anywhere between achievement and non-achievement. And so goal setting is important. And even as it is important for us to set goals at the corporate world so that we can achieve our KPIs, it is important for us to set goals so that we can achieve personal goals. Okay. You have to set goals that are almost out of reach. If you set goals that are attainable without much work, then you end up in the in the class of mediocre. You'll be stuck in something that is below your true potential or your true talent, and you will not have that success feeling. You will not have that success acclaim, because what you have achieved, even though other people might see like you have achieved, is not according to your potential. In other words, you are able to achieve much more than you are doing. In my classes, I keep telling students that if you are an A student and you get a B, that is not good. If you are a C student and you get a B minus, that is very good. And so having to set goals is important because it helps you identify what are your areas of strength. And then when you identify your areas of strength, you are able to set goals that are reachable, but not out of reach and not below your potential. So goals help you evaluate yourself and come up with aims and goals that are able to help you grow. And as you grow, you achieve more and you become better at what you have been created to do. Setting goals, therefore, requires that we set SMART goals, and we are all familiar with SMART goals. If you are not familiar with SMART goals, you can just put it on the chat. I think we are all familiar with SMART goals. Silence means that we are all familiar with SMART goals. Good. At organizational level, we are encouraged to set specific goals, and specific goal is, I want to do this at this particular time for this particular period of time, for this particular person. That a goal must be measurable. So I cannot just say, I want to publish a paper. For example, publishing a paper is very good, but when are you publishing that paper? How many papers are you going to be publishing within the next decade, or within the next year, or within the next month, or within the next period of time? It has to be measurable and it has to be achievable. If you want to publish a paper within the next 3 months, you have never published a paper, is it really achievable? It's a good goal, but is it really achievable? And then if it is not achievable, it leaves you dissatisfied and it frustrates you, and it affects your self-esteem, so that you are not able to set better goals the next time around, and therefore you are not able to grow to your potential. Setting goals, you must be able to set relevant goals. Are we getting okay? Okay. It must be achievable. If you set unachievable goals, in fact, there's a time I had one student in one of my classes, and the student was a first year in business school. And I said, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And the student said, I will be an architect. And everybody burst out laughing, because she is in business school and she wants to be an architect in the next 5 years. But to your amazement, that student was looking for opportunities to go into architecture. In her second year, she was able to get the long and the short of the story. She was able to get a scholarship to go and do architecture. And within 6 years, she finished her architecture degree. So aim high, but be realistic. Be relevant, be realistic. Don't just say, I want to be a millionaire. This is one thing I have heard also with, especially high schoolers. I want to be a millionaire. What is a millionaire? And being a millionaire, what does it mean to be a millionaire? What does it take to be a millionaire? What is the benefit of being a millionaire? And so it has to be relevant. And relevant means that whatever goal you are setting aligns with your personal design. Who are you created to be? What are your gifts and talents? And how do they impact the people around you? So it has to be relevant. Time bound, it just have to be a time period within which you want to achieve that particular goal. Now, this is one of my goals for this year, is to walk 30 minutes every day. It's to walk 30 minutes every day for 5 days a week. Walking 30 minutes every day for 5 days a week. A week has 7 days, so I have 2 days that I don't walk. And so that is a smart goal as far as I'm concerned. We will critique it if you feel it's not smart. Okay, why is it important to set goals? Goals are important because they help us focus on the knowledge, skills, and abilities that you have or that you want to acquire. Setting goals helps you organize time and resources. You want to be a certified public accountant in the next 2 years. You are still at the university. Do you have the time? Do you have the money? Do you have the support system that is required for you to achieve that? So it helps you organize time and resources. Or you want to get married. This is another one from high schoolers to university entrance. That one wants to get married and they will be married to a rich man in 5 years. And 5 years, they're in the first year of business school. 5 years, you want to marry a rich man. What is rich? And rich in what? Because one can be rich in money, but very poor in social relations. Do you want to marry a person who is poor in social relations? Do you think you will grow to be a better person living with that kind of a person? So goal setting helps you critically identify and organize time and resources to meet the goal that you have set. It helps you optimize the utility of life. If you don't set goals, if you don't plan, if you don't tell yourself this is what I'm going to be achieving within a given period of time, then it doesn't matter 5 years down the line, you could be repeating courses in first year. You could be doing your chapter 1 for 2 years or for 3 years, because it doesn't really matter. You have not had time to actually see what resources, how you're going to organize your life so that within the given period of time, you are able to achieve the bigger goal. So in terms of the bigger achievement. So the goal helps you to break down the degree program, the PhD, the master's, the first degree. It helps you break down that degree program into portions so that the sum of those portions make up a degree. The sum of those portions make up a successful person. Setting goals helps propel you forward and keeps you focused. So that if you go online, and especially now with information explosion, you go online and you find there's a webinar here on this aspect, a webinar here on this aspect, and you go and you think it's nice and you keep attending, and then you realize 3-4 hours down the line, you were supposed to have achieved something, you have not done it. And now you have to postpone or you have to move other activities forward so that you can achieve what you needed to achieve in the morning. So goal setting helps propel you forward and keep you focused so that you can, when you open your emails, you can skim through and see what you need to respond to, what is your priority, and that which is not priority can be left, and that which is junk can just be thrown to the junk and move on. Otherwise, you can have a lot of information flowing to you, both on the net and physically, and that information just bamboozles you, and you're not able to utilize it effectively. Setting goals is important for wholeness of life and fulfillment. Wholeness of life is you are able to tell yourself, this is who I am, I'm able to achieve this, and I am happy that I am this many years old, and this is what I have achieved. And I'm looking forward to achieving X, Y, Z in the next couple of months or couple of years, so that it can lead me to where I want to go. If you don't plan your life that way, then you can end up anywhere, and anywhere is not a good destination. Setting goals helps break big problems into small challenges. A big mountain, you are not good at reading, you do not have the reading skill, the speed reading. And now you're supposed to be doing your PhD, and you're doing your PhD, you're supposed to be reading, and you read throughout the night. Then you're supposed to be functioning effectively at the workplace, you are not able to function. Your KPIs are not being met, and you have everybody beating you back and forth. Your supervisors are telling you you're not doing well. The workplace, your employer is also saying your KPIs are not met. If you don't meet your KPI, we might have to let you go, and that stress can be unhealthy and lead to mental ill health. I don't want to say mental illness, but yeah, mental ill health. Goal setting helps you to make better decisions. Once you've gone through the areas of your life that you want to grow, and you have set goals in every area, then you can make better decisions in as far as what is priority and what is not priority. And once you have organized yourself in terms of priority, even in times of crisis, you can hold your cool together, because you know that you have resources available for you to draw from. Goal setting also helps you to for personal accountability, so that you cannot have the whole day and you're looking back and thinking, my goodness, the whole day is gone. What did I do today? And because I didn't do what I wanted to do today, you do a short job and submit. If it is writing or it's the workplace, you just do a short job, and then it reduces your performance at the workplace, and it affects you have conflict with your supervisors. And if you are a full-time learner, then you have conflict with your supervisors again, because you're not able to give quality work, and you get frustrated with yourself, and then self-esteem is lower. And when your self-esteem is lower, you're not able to sell yourself even in public places as the best person you can be. So it is important to set goals. Different areas of goal setting. And these are not exclusive. These are just some of the areas that you need to set goals. You can set job goals. Job goals are evaluated through KPIs. You can set career goals or business goals if you are in business. And this, it has to be time bound, that by this time, I want to have achieved this. I want to be able to do X, Y, Z. And if I'm not able to do X, Y, Z, in the monitoring and evaluation, I'm looking to see what are the challenges or what is hindering me from achieving, so that I can cause change so that I'm able to achieve. Personal goals is, who do I want to be? I'm a woman. What makes me a woman? What kind of a best woman do I want to be? And so what are my personal goals? I want to be a good listener. Like I said, I have learned over the years to be a good listener, that sometimes one will be shouting at me and I'm looking at you and smiling, and I give you time to steam it off, and I would pick what is important, and then I'll be able to ask you, now that you have said all you wanted to say, which way do we go? And therefore you become a better person. Psychological goals. Psychological goals have to do with your emotional well-being. You could be the kind of a person who snaps back and you don't wait, yeah, especially with listening. You don't wait for people to finish talking, you are already interjecting, or you look at people and you judge them, and therefore you respond to them according to what you have judged them. And by the way, when you respond to people, you do not have to say the words, they can feel the judgment in your communication. And so setting goals on the areas, psychological areas where you want to grow. Finance, I think this is a biggie for each one of us in this crisis times. Since COVID, the financial challenges are many, and yet when you sit down and set financial goals, what are my expenditures? What are my priorities in terms of expenditure? What are my income streams? Are there ways that I can increase my income streams according to my areas of gifting? What are the areas of expenditure do I need to reduce so that I don't have to have landlords coming to me to ask for rent, or children being sent to school because there is no school fees, or in a situation you want to take your children out, you do not have the ability. You can explain to them, this time when we are not able to go out, we can do a cooking at home, but you are able to save and later take them out. Setting financial goals. Educational goals. This is including achieving degrees, but in this particular case, we will focus on research. But educational goals is research, either research for academic purposes, research for publication, or research for personal growth. Spiritual goals. Spiritual goals is both vertical and horizontal. What are the goals that you want to set for closer relationship with your God? And what are the goals you want to set to be a more effective person in relating with other people? That's spiritual goals. Health and fitness, I gave a goal on health and fitness of having to walk. Yeah, and you can come up with your own area of goal setting that might be, you would want to share with us. And in the interest of time, how much time do I have? Sure. We are already past time. Aurelia, do I have time? People, can you give me time to just give me 20 minutes of your time, and then I'll try and run as fast as I can. If you're giving me your time, say yes. On the chat. I have one person who is giving me her yes. Okay, I have a few people who are giving me their yes. So I will try and finish as much as quickly as possible so that, yeah, I'm sorry for the time that I am taking, and I appreciate that you have allowed me to take a little more of your time. So, how do you measure goal achievement in a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 5? 1, when you set a goal, you need to vision yourself achieving that goal. If you want to publish, how will it make me feel when I have published? On a scale of 1 to 5. The higher the scale, the more the priority, and the more urgent the need for you to achieve that goal. Does the goal have inherent value? Does it have any benefit to you or to other people that you are ministering to? Is it needful for me to publish? On a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, the higher the scale, the more likely you are able to achieve. Have you counted the cost? And the cost includes spending your time. Do you know what time is your most productive time? Are you willing to give up sleep for a few hours so that you can achieve what it is that you want to achieve? Are you willing, time delay, again, time delay until payoff. This goal, this thing that you want to achieve, are you willing to hold on and work on it until the payoff comes, until publication comes? How much confidence do you have that you are able to achieve? If you have failed in the past, it reduces your confidence. But you can build your confidence by telling yourself, yes, I failed, but that was, I know the challenges I faced. I'm going to have to deal with these challenges this way. Do you have support and agreement, especially from significant others? You have children and you have a husband, and you want to publish and you want to be staying up all night. Are they agreeable? Do you have their support? If they don't support and they are not agreeable, then you will be achieving one goal, but you'll be achieving one goal, but failing on other areas of goal, like personal goal or psychological goal, because you did not get support and agreement. Are there available resources? If it is a course you want to take, if it is, are there available resources? How much harmony is there between the who you think you are and the goal you want to achieve and the resources that are available? Is there harmony? If there is no harmony, what are the challenges and how are you going to deal with the challenges? Okay, in the interest of time, I would like for you to take, each one of you to take 3 minutes to write one research goal that we shall share. One SMART research goal. I'll be waiting for you at the chat in the next 3 minutes, one research goal that individuals have written. One SMART goal in research. Okay, if you don't mind, Pendo says, I want to publish 2 papers in peer-reviewed journals before the end of 2023. We are in January. Thank you, Pendo. 2 more, and then we can evaluate Pendo's and the other 2, and you let me know whether it is SMART. To publish a minimum of 2 papers in the next 6 months. I plan to complete my research proposal in 3 months. Now let's go back to Pendo wrote, publish 2 papers in peer-reviewed journals before end of 2023. Is this, if you could, just unmute yourself. Is this a SMART goal? Somebody from the participants, is this a SMART goal? Publish 2 papers in peer-reviewed journals before the end of 2023. Somebody's talking?
Yeah, I would think it is a SMART goal.
Yes.
If the person has already started on what they want to do, or if they already on the way, so it means yes, she has the timeline and she has what it takes to go there. So it will depend on the preparation of the person.
Okay,
thank you.
So thank you. Thank you, Scovia. Yes, Scovia says this is a SMART goal. If the person already has the area of study and that they are established and they have already started on the work, they know what they want to publish in, it's a SMART goal. What about to publish a minimum of 2 papers in the next 6 months? To publish 2 papers in the next 6 months, is it a SMART goal? SMART goal is SMART. Yeah. Somebody was saying.
Maybe this is Jamie.
Yes, Jamie.
It depends on the person, but
Yes.
generally it can be a tall order.
Yes.
If you have other things also to do, unless you are just going to do the publication 24/7.
Okay, so this can be.
The person, she knows her strength and she
Yes.
knows her process.
Yes.
That's my take.
Thank you, Jamie. So in the interest of time, we may not dwell, but then the thing to do is to evaluate that goal against this, against this standards. Where is this? Sorry. The key thing is to evaluate yourself against this. Against, you are envisioning yourself and it is high on the score. It's of inherent value. It is needful. The cost is counted, especially of time. And you're willing to work on it until there is payoff. There is confidence that you can accomplish, that support and agreement is there, with the significant others, that there is available resources and all these things are in harmony. It is a SMART goal. I plan to complete, now this is Caroline says, I plan to complete my research proposal in 3 months. 3 months means from January, that is March. Caroline, I take it. Carol, 3 months, that is end of March or end of February, end of May, April.
April.
End of April. By 30th April, Carol wants to complete her research proposal again. It is a SMART goal as long as it fits in this criteria. Okay. Now, once you write the goal, it is important for you to plan to implement having written goals. And by the way, the goals have to be written. It is not just telling yourself that you're going to be finishing your research proposal by 30th April. No, it is writing it down and then plan the steps that you're going to take to achieve those goals. What activities are you going to be doing to accomplish that particular goal? Then when you are implementing the activities, it's like waking up 2 hours early, taking time, shut up and write as the Journal Club members do, shut up and write, 2 hours, 5 days a week or whatever it is, but put activities in place so that you are able to cope to actually achieve what you want to achieve. Then periodically monitor and evaluate to see that you are on course and to identify the challenges that you are facing so that you know how to deal with the challenges and give yourself a reward if you are on course and change course if you are facing challenges. Then consistency. Once you plan the activities, it is important for you to be consistent in the activities. And I'm sorry I have had to run, but because I want to not to take more of your time, I think I'll end it there and wait to hear your questions, comments, or concerns. Questions, comments, or concerns? Is anybody in the house?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we are here.
Okay.
Yes, we
are here, Dr. You have done a
Okay.
commendable presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jamie. Oh yeah, thank you, Gloria. I just needed to know somebody is in the house. Questions, comments, or concerns?
Doc, maybe mine will be, are there certificates for that training, as someone had already stressed it in the chat?
Okay,
thank you.
I'll give that question to Aurelia to answer. Thank you, Scovia. And in the absence of any other, thank you for the training, thank you. In the absence of any other comments or concerns, I hand over the meeting to Aurelia. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you for your participation. See you at the higher level when we have set goals and we are achieving. We are made for greatness and we shall achieve.
Wow, brilliant presentation. Thank you so much, Lydia, for that presentation. I have learned a lot personally. I need to go and make those goals smart. I've just been saying I'll start writing my research, but I have no date when the proposal or the concept will be done. I have no idea what I'll start reading with. So thank you so much for that. And I can see all the people saying that was a great organized presentation. Asante sana. So if you have any question you can ask. Yes, this year we are going to try and give certificates for every training. David, are you there? David is going to share a feedback link that you are going to fill, and through that feedback link, it will help us get your real name, your full name, for the certificate purposes. David, you have the link there? David, you have the link? Okay, I can also share the link with you as we are about to finish, so that at least you can be able to make sure you write your full names the way you want them to appear. And for us, the most important thing is not even the certificate, is for you to get those goals down, to implement them. And as Lydia says, when we come to evaluate, even after 3 months, you're like, tick, 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 I did it. So for those who don't have a book where you write your goals, or maybe an online place on your computer, sometimes me, I use sticky notes on my computer. I just say in the next 2 weeks, I need to do this, this, this. And I love when I'm crossing and saying done, done, done. So also make it as practical for you. Go get somewhere where you will write, because you might have the certificate, but your goals have not moved. So we want to have both. So let me just look and get the, I think, has David shared it?
Not yet.
Not yet. Let me just get it. And then the other thing is, let me get it. Someone had asked about the cost of the project, so for individual mentorship where you can be with a mentor, we say that you can have 1 hour and a half session with a mentor 4 times. That's almost like a month, where you're meeting a mentor for 1 hour and a half. And within the month, you're also being given assignments to do within your research project, things to do, things to read. So we are hoping that for 1 month, you will have someone working with you. And if it's a particular area you're struggling with, that kind of attention will help you move. So for that, if you're in the Africana Journal Club, that is 10,000. And if you're not in the club, that is 12,500. So it's quite a modest figure where you have at least a mentor working with you. And then for the group mentoring, where you are maybe a group of 10 or 5 and want to learn the same thing, but want to learn it together, we put a price of 3,000 per person for that session, because you will have the session for around 2 to 3 hours, and then you will also have materials, and you can always speak to the mentor. So that's the pricing we have for now, for the 2, for group and for having a mentor, just to also encourage the mentor, also be able to meet some of the costs even at the Africana Journal Club, like the platforms we use and all that. So those are the prizes, but we will communicate them by next week very nicely, because we've seen some people want to enroll for mentorship. So let me just share now the link, and then you fill in the feedback form, and then we'll be able to give you the certificates. We also found a very interesting way that there's a way you can even develop certificates automatically when people fill in Google form. Amazing. So we hope we can do that. Lydia, I think what I'll do, let me send them to let me send it to your email, to your WhatsApp. Are you able to copy?
Yes.
Yes, you're able to copy the link to.
Yes.
Let me the link of the feedback form, yeah, because I've just seen that because I'm using my phone, I'm not able to. Okay, there you go. So you can just share the link, fill in as you're giving feedback, put your correct name based on how you want it to be in the certificate, and then we will have it done. So we can see we are around 21 people today. So that's the only way we can audit also who was there.
You want me to send this to
the chat on Zoom, this Zoom chat?
That technology, I'm not sure that I'm able to do that.
Let me see if I can, actually, I think I can get it from my WhatsApp to the chat. Let me just.
Please. Yes, because
link copied, yes. Then we take it to chat. There you go.
Oh, you are learned.
No, it's just paste, nothing fancy, sorry. So fill that, then we'll be able to get your name. And I think there's a slot for email so that you can also email the certificate.
Okay.
Yes.
And
okay.
the presentation, Aurelia, somebody is asking about the presentation.
The presentation will be shared as a link when we are sharing the recording. So all these will be shared on email and also in the WhatsApp group in
Africana Journal.
In the Africana Journal Club. So we usually have also the recording on YouTube, just because before we used to send the Zoom link and people complained it's a bit complicated. You have to put a password. So we decided to put it on YouTube. It's easy to access. You can pause, you can forward, you can take back. And also someone who presented can also share that link. Maybe sometimes you can be called for an interview and they ask, what have you been doing apart from your main work? And you're like, look at my links. So it has a lot of advantage for even members. And for us, it's not a paid site. So we also don't earn anything from just to be transparent, we don't earn from the YouTube videos that we upload. It's just a space for sharing knowledge. Okay, so thank you. And as you fill in the form, I wish you a lovely evening. Let's see you tomorrow for I think tomorrow it's more of a presentation about reviewing rather than reviewing the text. But next month, we are going to review an actual publication, and we encourage members, send your paper. If you have published a paper, send it, let us review it, or any work we can learn from you. If you send it, we review it and discuss it and give comments. And it's a beautiful way to learn. The best way to learn research is by doing, not by listening. It is by doing that actually you gain mastery. So see you tomorrow. And also, yeah, I think next week we have a few more webinars, webinar on NVivo. So please download the NVivo app before then. NVivo is a software for helping to analyze qualitative data. So they have, it's a very expensive software, but what they do, they allow you to download a 2-week test link. So that's the one we use to train people with. So you download that, and then when you're having the practical training, you can be able to learn. So we have great things coming up. Take advantage of them. Just know that for us, we don't train research the way it is taught in class, because all of us have gone to a research methods class. We want to have activities that allow us to practice research rather than just acquiring knowledge. So that's why you see our learning is centered in activities, not just webinars. I'm just talking because I'm giving people time to fill in the feedback form. And I wish you a good night. And thank you so much, Daktari. Do you have any final words?
Maybe my final words, I think I had already finished because I am time conscious. I just said, see you in the higher level as we grow to be the best people that we can be. We have greatness in us and we can develop it.
Great. Wow. Thank you very much.
And Auleria, your name is a trip for the Bantu people. Somebody says, thank you. Thank you, Auleria.
Call me Modhoni. I was given those complicated colonial names. So yeah, it's a Catholic nun. So yeah, so it's also the history of
our being. Yeah.
Yes, Zuta.
Yeah.
Zuta, your hand is up.
Yes, please. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity, and thanks for the training, the very nice and insightful program. I was trying to fill the form, but it's not active for me to fill. I don't know whether it's going to come from my end here.
Oh, it's not active. Is it active for everyone else?
Let me see. It was active on my phone. Let me just see.
Yes.
We can't hear you. Is it active?
I think Dorothy is trying to communicate and I'm not sure.
Yes, I've already filled mine.
Oh, you have already filled yours. Thank you. Yeah, Dorothy has already filled hers. Yeah, mine is active too. If you click on it, yeah, mine is active.
Yes, it's now active. Thank you. It's now active.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I wish you well. I'm now leaving school. I've been in class the whole week doing the coursework for the master's. So time to go home. And I'm sure most of you are also going home or you're at home. So I wish you a good night.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.